Welcome to a new episode of OwlCast. I'm your host, James O'Connor. Today, I bring you a literary gem that moves, inspires, and teaches. We're talking about The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, a book written by Robin Sharma, which tells the story of a successful lawyer who, after suffering a heart attack, decides to sell all his possessions and travel to the Himalayas in search of wisdom and serenity. This is not just another self-help book. It is a guide with practical lessons and strategies for living a life full of purpose, happiness, and personal fulfillment. This book invites us to reflect on our life, priorities, and happiness. Today on OwlCast, we'll delve into this fascinating book and present 10 key points I have extracted from it. Through various case studies, we'll explore how these lessons apply in real life and how they can help us achieve a greater sense of purpose and happiness in our own lives. So, if you're ready to embark on this journey of self-exploration and learning, get comfortable and let's dive into the inspiring world of the monk who sold his Ferrari. Let's begin with the first key point. Materialism and mindfulness. The story introduces us to Julian Mantle, a successful lawyer who seems to have everything. Wealth, status, a luxurious Ferrari, but his obsession with material success costs him a heart attack. This dramatic turn in his life leads us to reflect on the balance between pursuing success and our health and well-being. Let's contextualize it with a case study. Imagine a senior executive. Let's call him Carlos. Carlos works long hours and never has time for his family, friends, or himself. He's constantly stressed, his health deteriorates, and although he earns much money, he rarely enjoys life. Carlos has wealth, but is he pleased? Is he genuinely successful? Truthfully, and the message of though is that wealth and material success are only part of the happiness equation. We must not lose sight of what truly matters, our health, relationships, and inner peace. Because at the end of the day, even a Ferrari is useless if you don't have good health to enjoy it. Moving on, we come to the second key point. The spiritual journey. After his collapse, Julian makes a radical decision. He sells all his possessions, including his prized Ferrari, and embarks on a journey to the Himalayas in search of wisdom and serenity. He leaves behind his comfort zone to immerse himself in the unknown. Consider a case study. Imagine Maria, a successful professional trapped in her monotonous office life. One day she decides to leave everything and travel the world. She explores different cultures, learns new languages, and discovers an entirely new perspective on life. This journey completely changes her view of the world and herself. Julian, like Maria, teaches us that sometimes we need to step away from the known, from the safe, to grow and learn genuinely. Don't be afraid to leave your comfort zone and seek answers in unexpected places. Remember, true wisdom often comes from the most surprising experiences. Our third key point is mastery of the mind. In the Himalayas, Julian discovers that to live a genuinely satisfying and fulfilling life, having control over our minds is essential. This point leads us to the importance of meditation and managing our thoughts. Now, let's consider a case study to illustrate this point. Think of Laura, a woman who has struggled with anxiety for years. Laura feels trapped in her mind and is a victim of her negative thoughts. One day, she decided to give meditation a try. Over time, she learns to calm her mind, observe her thoughts without judgment, and not let anxiety control her life. The lesson from Julian and Laura's experience shows us how managing our minds is essential to living a peaceful and fulfilling life. So the next time you find yourself caught in a spiral of negative thoughts, remember that you have the power to control your mind, not the other way around. Our fourth key point is purpose in life. During his journey, Julian realizes that having a clear purpose in life is fundamental to finding true happiness. With searchings, it's not just about being successful, but having a mission that gives meaning to everything you do. To illustrate this point, imagine Pedro, a man living aimlessly. He does a job he doesn't like and feels that his life has no meaning. One day he discovers his passion for music. He decides to dedicate himself to it, and despite the difficulties, he feels happier than ever. Finally, he has a purpose that gives meaning to his life. Julian's experience and Pedro's story teach us that having a purpose in life is more than having a goal or an objective. It has a reason that drives us to get up every morning, a mission that gives meaning to our lives. Remember, finding your purpose can lead you to true happiness. The fifth key point is the connection with nature. During his time in the Himalayas, Julian learns the value of nature in nurturing his spirit and mind. In the tranquility and beauty of the mountains, he finds a new sense of peace and perspective. To understand this better, think about Diego, a programmer who lives in a big city. Diego's life is frantic and he's always glued to his computer. One day, he decides to start spending more time in nature. He walks in the park daily, observing the trees and listening to the birds. These moments give him a sense of tranquility and mental clarity he had never experienced before. Julian's lesson and Diego's experience show us the power of nature to heal our minds and nourish our spirits. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, consider walking outdoors. Perhaps there you will find the peace you seek. Our sixth key point is self-discipline. During his transformation journey, Julian learns that self-discipline is a powerful tool to achieve our goals and live a fulfilling life. Without self-discipline, our ambitions and dreams may remain mere wishes. Consider the case of Andrea, a woman who has always dreamed of writing a novel. But she quickly gets distracted whenever she sits down to write and procrastinates. One day, she decides to set a fixed schedule for writing, no matter what happens. Over time, thanks to her self-discipline, she finally wrote her novel. Julian's story and Andrea's experience show us that self-discipline is essential to achieving our goals. It's not about limiting our freedoms, but establishing control that allows us to focus on what truly matters. So remember, the next time you feel tempted to procrastinate, make an effort and stay focused. Your future self will thank you. The seventh key point is gratitude. Julian realizes that valuing what we have rather than longing for what we don't have can bring a deep sense of contentment and happiness. Gratitude can be a powerful antidote to stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. To illustrate this, think about the case of Louis, a man who's always complaining about what he doesn't have. One day, Louis decides to start keeping a gratitude journal, jotting down 3 things he's thankful for each day. Over time, this practice changes his perspective, and he starts to value what he has rather than what he lacks. Julian's story and Louis's experience show us that practicing gratitude can transform our perspective on life. No matter how many difficulties we face, there is always something we can be thankful for. So, the next time you feel down or dissatisfied, try thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. You'll see how your perspective changes. The 8th key point is the power of small acts. Julian teaches us that significant changes often result from small actions performed consistently. Don't underestimate the power of a small step in the right direction. To exemplify this point, consider Clara, a woman who wants to improve her health but feels overwhelmed by the idea of a radical lifestyle change. Instead of attempting a drastic change, Clara starts with small steps, like walking 20 minutes daily. Over time, these small changes add up, and Clara notices significant improvements in her health and well-being. Julian's experience and Clara's teach us that small steps can have a significant long-term impact. You don't need to make drastic changes to improve your life. You must take a small step in the right direction and be consistent. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The 9th key point is the value of simplicity. In his transformation journey, Julian discovers that simplicity can lead to a more serene and satisfying life. Living a simple life doesn't mean depriving oneself of good things, but learning to enjoy the essentials. To illustrate this, imagine Rao, a man who lives in constant disorder in his home and mind. One day, he adopts a minimalist approach and removes things he doesn't need. This change not only cleans up his house, but also clears his mind and brings him a sense of peace and clarity he had never experienced before. Julian's lesson and Raoul's experience show us that simplicity can be a powerful tool to improve our lives. Getting rid of physical and mental clutter can free you to focus on what truly matters. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, consider simplifying your life. You may be surprised by the impact it can have. Finally, the 10th key point is teaching. Julian learns that true wisdom is found in learning and teaching. Sharing what we've learned can be a way to give back, contribute to the community, and grow personally. Consider Sophia, a finance expert who decides to give free financial education classes in her community. By doing so, she helps others manage their money better and reinforces her knowledge and skills. Additionally, she finds deep satisfaction in seeing how her teaching improves the lives of others. Julian's story and Sophia's show us that teaching can be a powerful way to learn and contribute to society. So the next time you know something valuable, consider sharing it with others. You won't only be helping others, but also reinforcing your learning. In conclusion, The Monk Who Sold His Ferraris by Robin Sharma offers us an enlightening path to a fulfilling and meaningful life. Through Julian Mantle's transformation, we discover that true riches are not found in material goods, but in a serene mind, a healthy body, deep relationships, and a clear purpose in life. His journey teaches us that we can cultivate greater self-awareness, discipline, and gratitude, and that through small and consistent acts, we can achieve significant life changes. To finish, as I do in each episode, I want to emphasize that this has been only a brief glimpse into Robin Sharma's fascinating book. Although we've highlighted the key points, nothing can compare to reading the complete work and immersing oneself in its profound wisdom. Therefore, I invite you to give this transformative book a chance. You'll find a link to get it in the description. Remember that reading complete books, not just summaries, is the most valuable knowledge. This is essential reading for anyone seeking a path to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. See you in the next episode.